Every year, millions of innocent and unsuspecting animals are abandoned by their owners who either put them out on the streets or put them into shelters that are already too overcrowded. Almost everyone has owned a pet before, and most people have adopted a pet from a shelter or off the streets, and those who haven't almost certainly know someone who has. I have personally owned a dog that was adopted from a shelter, and I have rescued many pets from the streets. In the past month, I found an abandoned cat that was on the verge of death, and I found him a stable, loving home. He has since made an incredible recovery. Pet owners should not abandon their pets. Animals are abandoned too often for many different reasons, and they often don't survive after being abandoned. However, there are simple things people can do in order to solve this problem. First, we will explore what happens to pets when they are abandoned. Then we will explore some of the reasons why pets are abandoned, and finally, we will show what you can do to help solve this problem. Pets that are abandoned have to fight for survival and rarely win the battle. Pets on the streets don't live nearly as long as domesticated pets, and according to Donaldson in his 2013 article, about 4 million pets are abandoned every year. According to the 2011 article, Feral Cat Control, a stray cat has an average lifespan of only 3 to 5 years versus a house cat that has a lifespan of 15 to 20 years. A stray dog has an even shorter average lifespan of only 1 to 2 years, whereas a domesticated dog has a lifespan of 10 to 15 years, according to an article from 2013 called U.S. Facing Feral Dog Crisis. Pets on the streets face many more hardships than other animals. Stray pets face the dangers of being hit by cars, getting hurt by other animals, or simply starving to death. Stray pets that aren't neutered or spayed also have babies, which just adds to the problem of them not having enough food and to the problem of having so many strays on the streets. And then, pets that are taken to shelters don't have it much better. Shelters can't keep up with the sheer amount of animals coming into them. In the article, Common Questions About Animal Shelters from 2013, they explain that every year, 4 to 6 million pets are taken to shelters. About half of these pets have to be put down. Even the ones that aren't put down don't necessarily have it better off. Since so many people buy pets from pet stores, less pets are adopted from shelters. So why do people abandon their pets to this fate? Many people actually adopt pets without realizing the effort it takes to own one, or they discover after they adopt one that they can't actually take care of it. Pets are an expensive and long-term commitment. The first year is the most expensive year to own a pet, since they need additional medical attention and special food, but even after that they still need food, trips to the vet, medicine, and toys. In the case of cats, you need litter as well. According to Zawitowski and his chart, Estimated Yearly Cost of Pet Ownership, an average-sized dog costs around $1,115 for the first year and $545 every year after that. For a cat, it is $640 for the first year and $500 every year after that. For small dogs, it's slightly cheaper, and for larger dogs, it is slightly higher. But that doesn't even take into account the time commitment a pet is, since you do need to take time to play with them and walk them, scoop their litter boxes, and just generally spend time with them. The economy has caused many people to be unable to keep their pets. To some people, those prices might not seem that high, and they might be able to pay for it, but since the economy has started to decline, many people can barely afford to take care of themselves and their families, let alone another animal, which the article Rising the Cost of Living Impacts on Pets from 2011 points out. This isn't anyone's fault, but pets end up suffering because of it. These pet owners often think that they're doing the right things by taking them to shelters, yet their pets still end up being put down about half of the time. So, what can we do to help solve this problem? Well, there are several different methods to help solve this problem, and while none of them will completely fix it, if people started doing all of them, then the problem would diminish drastically and become manageable at the very least. First thing that people need to do is they need to start thinking about whether or not they're actually ready to own a pet. A lot of people adopt pets thinking that they're just cute and cuddly, and they don't think about the responsibility. Owning a pet is like having a child. They are completely dependent on you, and without you, they really can't survive. Potential owners need to really think about the responsibility before they adopt. Pets are expensive, and they usually live for a long time. Cats usually live to be 20 years old, and dogs usually live to be about 10 to 15 years old, depending on the size of the dog. If you do have to abandon your pet, try to find an owner or take them to a no-kill shelter. Sometimes situations will cause people to have to abandon their pets. But if that happens, there are some steps you can take to make the experience as painless as possible for your pet. First, you should take your pet to the vet first, if at all possible, to make sure it's in good health. If it is taken to a shelter, it is much more likely to be adopted if it's healthy, so people don't have to pay that extra money for the medical bills and getting them back up to health. Before taking it to a shelter, though, try to find a friend that can adopt. Put ads out, try to find a good new owner for your pet. If you can't find anyone and there is a no-kill shelter around your area, that can be a fantastic alternative, especially for older pets. Since young pets are more likely to be adopted at a regular shelter, they are better candidates for a normal shelter. And some shelters do require a fee to drop off your pet, but that is the least you can do to ensure your pet finds a new loving home. And no matter what, if you do have to abandon your pet, don't leave it on the streets. Leaving your pet on the street is a lose-lose situation for them. After they've been domesticated and have become used to being a house dog or cat, they have almost no chance of surviving on the street. Even if they do manage to survive on the streets, they'll still contract diseases, lose weight, and probably have puppies or kittens. If they do breed, then that just adds to the problem of abandoned animals being on the streets. A pet is also much less likely to be adopted from the street, since medical bills are usually more expensive to adopt a pet from the streets where you don't know what might be wrong with the animal rather than a shelter where they usually give them medical treatment. Even if you think the fee at a shelter is too expensive for you, it can be more expensive to abandon your pet. According to the 2003 article, Animal Cruelty Laws by State, in Ohio, abandoning a pet is a minor misdemeanor and you can get fined up to $100. This isn't a hopeless situation. With a little bit of help from pet owners, we can help save these animals. Obviously, there are many different components to the problem of pet abandonment, but now that we've identified the reality of the problem, why it happens, and some of the things that can be done to solve it, we can start to really fix it. Clearly, pet owners shouldn't abandon their pets. These animals are dying every day and need our help now. With our help, we can stop animals from being abandoned and help the ones that have been abandoned heal. In order to learn more or help shelters by donation, please go to the Humane Society's website at www.humanesociety.org.